Welcome back, Geckopia fam. So in today's video, I'm gonna be answering your questions that I asked to the Instagram. I posted a Instagram story asking you guys whether if you had any questions that you would like me to cover for the next video. And for this video, I'm going to be answering each questions one at a time and basically give you my personal opinions about it. Now, the first questions that I was asked was, what is the best heat or light source for a 25-gallon Leopard Gecko tank? This one is a really good question. The Leopard Geckos, they need heat, belly heat. So basically they need a heat underneath the floor so that they can basically smush their belly on the floor and digest or sleep. Now, after using bunch of different products, I use HEATer, ceramic heat lamp, which only emits heat, and heat pad, heat tape. The best thing that I can think of right now is going to be the heat pad. Heat pad, I just think it's the best way to go as a beginner. If you don't know like the way you can use it for the heat bulb, and especially if you think about it, the heat bulb and ceramic heat lamp will actually emit heat from the above, so it's really hard to give them a belly heat. So that's why placing a heat pad underneath the tank will definitely be good options. And while you're using it, be sure to avoid this type of wood material, because these type of wood could actually burn, and when they are burned over the long period of time without checking it often, they could catch a fire, and you really don't want to face those severe incidents. So for example, right now I have one of the tank behind me, and I do use a heat pad for this one. And when I'm using them, I always try to give them an insulation so it could always insulate those hot temperature when I'm using it. And also I use a metal material because metals tends to do well a lot better than wood when it comes to heat. So those will be the best answers that I can give you for this questions. Now, the second questions that I saw on my Instagram was, why is my gecko not eating? Now, when it comes to eating part, there's numerous reasons. It could be the health issues, it could be the setup issues, it could be the heating issues, multiple things. But very first thing that I would check when it comes to this type of case, I would check if you have enough heat underneath the floor for them to basically get a belly heat, or I would check if you have any good height where they can hide under the bright lights, or lastly, I would check with the previous breeder what they've been feeding, because some geckos, they may not eat mealworms or dubias or superworms that you've been feeding. So I will always check those three things to see if those things are matching, and if not, I would visit a vet or something like that, or ask me another questions. But there's numerous reasons why they're not eating, and especially when they're just moving to a new place, to your house, they still need some time to adapt to new environments, and that might be the reason why they're not eating. Leopard geckos, as long as their tails are thick, they could pretty much do well without eating for maybe next 1 week when they're just arrived to your new place. So if they're not eating for next 7 days right after you receive it, that could be another reason why they're not eating. Third question is, all your Leopard geckos? Yes, all of the videos that you see my YouTube channel, Instagram page, TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, all of them, those are my geckos that I breed here and I owned. So if you see anything that you see it in other page with the same ring right here, or same setup or same background, that's probably from my contents. Fourth question is, do you have a favorite or dream gecko? Now, when I first started it, I had like 1 or 2 geckos, and at that point I always wanted the Black Knights, but Black Knights were super expensive compared to other morphs. So they were my dream morph back then, but now I'm able to produce a lot of them, and I have a bunch of them, So I pretty much have everything that I want. So to answer these questions, Black Knight is my favorite and it is my dream gecko. Fifth question is what's your favorite geckos? Same question, so I will skip that one. And sixth question is did pied randomly appear in galaxy total eclipse? Galaxy refers to super snow eclipse. It's a combo. And pied, generally the pied patterns comes from eclipse. When you mix super snow with eclipse together, they sometimes create those pied patterns. And over the long period of time, when you see like other breeder who has a really big portion of pied patterns, that could be one of the line breeding part. So once you start breeding or pairing super snow, eclipse, long period of time, you will eventually see those pied marking. And another question is, do you buy all your gecko food? For the food part, I don't really get like sponsored or donate. And it's one of the huge portion of the expense that I put to maintain my geckos. And to answer these questions, yeah, I pay all the food, and luckily I get it from wholesale price, so the price are not as high as when you're getting it from local reptile shop or like online stores when you're just ordering very little. It is still quite expensive because when I order in wholesales, I'm not getting it from local, I'm actually ordering it through online, and I get it from California. So when they ship it out, the shipping price adds on to the price and things can get expensive because of the weight and the amount. When I normally order mealworms, dubias, or other insects, I order in bulk. So for example, mealworms, I would normally buy like 10,000 of them to 20,000 each month. So if you actually calculate those expenses, it's quite a lot, but comparing to other local stores, I wouldn't say it's really that expensive. And especially food is mandatory, so if you don't give the food to your geckos, they're gonna starve to death. So always have enough food for them so that you don't run out of foods when they're starving. The next question is it easy to start breeding crusty geckos? Crusty gecko, I don't have it in my project, and I never had one before, so I don't have a lot of answers for these questions. But from my understanding, leopard geckos and crusty gecko are one of the easiest reptiles to breed. And one downside for the crusty gecko is that it takes about 2 years from my understanding. If I'm wrong, just let me know down in the comments. But normally leopard geckos, they should be able to breed within a year. Depending on the morph, some morphs tends to grow a little bit slower. But generally overall, leopard geckos, you should be able to have your geckos ready for breeding within a year. But for crusty geckos, I heard they grow a little bit more slower, so it takes usually about 2 years to breed. But overall, it's definitely easy to breed crusty gecko as well. And the last questions that I got asked was, what do you recommend for first timers? Quite frankly, any leopard geckos could be really easy to start. It really comes down to whether if you want to start with really good quality geckos or just a little bit average geckos or low quality geckos. And that comes to the budget. So if you want to breed leopard geckos, definitely a good way to go. But I honestly don't know what the budget is for you to start your project. So if you have like enough budgets over $8,000 to do a projects, then definitely high quality is my recommendations. But any gecko is perfectly fine. It's just I would recommend finding something that you really like. Everyone has a different taste. Although when it comes to the price, it really doesn't matter, I think, in my opinions. As long as you like what you do for your projects, it's what matters the most. And that's what's gonna keep you do the projects over and over again. So If I were to go back and start from beginning and I don't have a lot of budgets, definitely one of the common morph out there will be the tramp albino lines. They're very easy to find depending on which combinations, because with the tramp albino you can pretty much mix with different morphs together. Just make sure to avoid other albino lines like rainwater bells. As long as you keep it tramper albinos, you can find it really well in all of their places. And you can compare the price from morph markets or other platforms. But if I were to go back, I'll definitely go for a tramp albino. So that sums up for all the questions that I received for the Instagram. I didn't get a lot of questions this time, but if you have any questions for the next videos, feel free to write me a comment down in the YouTube videos or Instagram or Facebook. I post all over the places, so you can definitely check my video there. And I do have a lot of questions answered in my YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed or visited my YouTube channel, just feel free to visit Geckopia, and you should be able to find all the videos that I've been creating for past year and a half. So I hope you got a value out of this video, and if you have any questions, feel free to let me know down in the comment. But if there's any questions that you really can't find, or you really don't want to spend time doing a research and just want to watch simple video like this, having a comments down below and asking questions is the best way to do it. But other than that, if you enjoy the video, make sure you press a like and subscribe and share this video with anyone who loves geckos. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey look, if you enjoyed that video, I went ahead and picked out another special video that I know you're gonna find it immensely valuable. You can find it right here. There, I know you're gonna love it, and I'll see you in the next one.